Hey, what's up guys, it's Marf and welcome back to another video. Today we will be taking a look at Modern Combat Versus Update 10. Gameloft is saying this is the biggest update to Modern Combat Versus ever, and in terms of content that might be true, but in terms of valuable things that is probably not true. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and break down everything in this new update and bit by bit and piece by piece, and I'll go ahead and give you my overall thoughts at the end and kind of assess each thing as we go along. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first addition to this update is a new agent. His name is Sarge, and he has a semi-automatic assault rifle. It deals moderate damage, but it has a very low rate of fire and reload speed. And what I've noticed is when you aim down sight, the visual recoil makes it almost impossible to shoot targets at longer ranges, which kind of contradicts the balance of having moderate damage and a low rate of fire. But yeah, I guess that's how Gameloft is balancing things these days. His ability is a missile strike. It's basically like an airstrike, but it only goes where your line of sight is, which, like I said before, contradicts his whole missile strike thing. If you have an airstrike, you want to be able to place it where you aren't. So being only able to place it where your line of sight is kind of stupid, but oh well. The countdown is also very stupid, and for 4 seconds it leaves you completely vulnerable to enemy attacks. And so I think it should either be a instant placement, like maybe selecting it on a map or some sort, or a thrown flare, kind of similar to how Blaze's grenade works. So yeah, he is another mediocre agent addition, but we really can't assess how good he is until players access his ultimate ability, which is just the airstrike but with fire for some reason, and they get him to higher levels. The next new thing is a new map called Aftermath. It's Stadium, but destroyed for some reason. This map looks really ugly as a result of the gray color palette, and as a side effect of this coloring, it makes enemies extremely difficult to see. So you're going to be having trouble kind of deciphering where your targets are and aiming down sight and all that. And so the gray color palette really doesn't help with that whatsoever. And like pretty much all other maps, the spawns don't work very well, and the map has no flow to it, especially in modes like Warzone and Bounty. You'll be spawning behind enemies, they'll be spawning behind you, you'll spawn inside of enemy line of fire. It doesn't work very well whatsoever. So yeah, I don't know why they added this or thought it was a good idea. But yeah, next is a quick chat system. I was really excited to see this in the game. I thought more communication would be better. However, they didn't think that more communication is needed, so instead, you kind of have these useless phrases that you can say. The only things that might come in handy are things like hello and group up, but people don't listen to you when you say group up, and nobody cares if you say hello. So yeah, the game is too fast paced for the core charge status, and the other phrases like affirmative just don't make sense, and they should be replaced with other more useful phrases. I thought it was going to be like Nova 3, where it was actually going to be partly useful and partly fun, but no, it just kind of sucks. Like I said, it's too fast paced for the core charge status, and the other phrases just kind of don't make sense in a game like this. So the new events that have been added are kind of neat. They're called arena events. They're basically variations of game modes, and they can also include a best of 3 competition. They're kind of neat, but they really don't add much of value to the game. Like I said, they're only slight variations of specific game modes, kind of like what Fortnite is doing with their whole limited time mode thing, and every other game is kind of doing with their limited time mode thing. So yeah, it's kind of cool, but it really doesn't add much of value to the game. So what is next? So we've also gotten a ton of agent customization. This is really neat. A lot of people have been asking for this, and I'm kind of excited for what I'm about to tell you guys about. So first of all, more jerseys have been added. So previously it was limited to a few select countries, but now you have a ton of different things you can put on there that are pre-made or whatever. You can't actually make your own, which is kind of disappointing, but I understand they don't want profound things on there, but whatever. So they look really nice, but they might make you an easy target if you put on very colorful jerseys. They're kind of big, so they will make you stand out a bit. So what we've really been asking for, however, is weapon camos. Finally, they've been added to the game. They look really good. However, you won't get any of them because they are limited to loot crates. As far as I know, all of them are limited to loot crates, so good luck getting one that you want. This is very disappointing. I think only a couple of them you can get through agent progression, but I think that's about it. Everything else, as far as I know, is limited to opening up crates and having a small chance of getting them. I've opened around 15 crates, I believe, since the update, and I haven't received one piece of customization. So yeah, that'll give you an idea of how long it'll take to get something or whatever. In addition to more agent customization visually, we also now have gear. Now, be prepared for this explanation because it is a doozy. I barely understand how this system works, and I don't even know if the Gameloft developers know how this system works. But yeah, so each agent has different gear slots like torsos, feet, hands, and exo. You can unlock these gear pieces to put in these gear slots through crates and events. Gear comes in tiers that go all the way up to tier 4, I believe, and each gear piece has traits that improve your agent stats. So you can improve things like your ability recharge rate and your mobility and speed and that kind of thing. You can upgrade your gear using, a stupid currency called coins, just to make things more complicated. You can buy coins with diamonds, or you can get them through matches and crates. If you wanted your semi-competitive game to get even more needlessly complicated, then here you go. Why was this added? We don't need any more confusion to boosting our agent stats. You can already upgrade them through direct upgrades, which already breaks the game in its own sense. This addition is just worthless and stupid, especially for a game that is trying to kind of look like an esport. I know these improvements are very, very small, like plus 1.07% mobility speed, but it just makes things so complicated, and especially we don't know how much of an increase tier 4 gear has, because I haven't seen anybody with tier 4 gear, and I personally don't have tier 4 gear, because I won't even try to get that. But yeah, it's just so needlessly complicated, and this is just a stupid addition in general. So now there's a new way to earn rewards in the form of career progress. It's just the road to glory from before in the previous update, but they just renamed it. I believe there are a couple more rewards added in there, but whatever. Agent progression is now a little easier to follow, which is nice. So you can go into each agent's individual screen or whatever, and you can see your progression, which is nice. Previously, you could only see it when you play with an agent, and at the end of the match, it'll show you. But now it'll show you your entire progression and all the rewards that come with each level up, which is really, really neat. Yeah, but the concept is still the same. Whatever you play with your agent more, you get more rewards and stuff like that. So, here's where things get even dumber. Now, keep in mind, this game is supposed to be a bit competitive, right? You have these clans that you can join. Each match is very short, but it requires a lot of skill, per se, to master each agent, and they're really marketing this like a kind of esport. Okay, let's get into why this update probably is the worst update ever. So, besides all the complicated progression and gear and customization, here's where things just get stupidly dumb, okay? Every time you level up, damage and health for all agents increases by a significant amount. I believe it's the same as your level. So if I level up to level 2, I get a level 32, I get an increase of 32% damage and health. Cool, right? No. This is dumb. This is so stupid. This is completely game breaking. So if everyone I faced was the same level as me, then it would be fine, because everybody would be getting that plus 32% in damage and health. However, I'm level 32 right now, and I was playing against people who went up to level 40. That means their agent health and damage was way more than 100% higher than mine. I could die instantly, basically, from anyone who was only 3 levels above me. I have no idea why Gameloft did this, but it was clear that no one ever thought of what might happen to gameplay as a result of this. Now, you either completely dominate the enemy team, or you barely get a single kill throughout the entire match. I don't know who or how this idea came to fruition, but it really does completely break casual matchmaking or just playing the game in general. Yeah, there's nothing more I can say besides it either makes you completely worthless in a game, or it makes you completely dominate even if you don't have any skill. Keep in mind that if I level up to level 40, that's a 40% increase in damage and health. That is just about half adding to your additional stats. That's insane. But yeah, this completely breaks the game. I have no idea why this is added. The game is really almost unplayable at the moment, like I said, because you either get killed instantly or you completely dominate your enemies. Yeah, there's really not much more I can say about that. In addition to this, and to get things even more complicated, they have added a VIP pass for either $5 or $10 a month. Yeah, apparently the price will change. Anyway, basically for that amount of money per month, you can progress even faster than other people and get cosmetics. Woo, look at that. I would be fine with a cosmetic pass similar to Fortnite, but the double increase in rewards is just stupid and insulting. This is clearly a breach of any sort of progression fairness between paid and free users. Loot crates were already bad enough, but now paid users get twice the amount of everything as opposed to free users. So yeah, it just kind of breaks the game even more. So, the icons on your HUD still in-game make it super cluttered, and it makes it even harder to see your enemies. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but especially when playing on a smaller screen like with an iPhone, the HUD icons really make it hard to see enemy players, and I don't know why they're so big. Hey, but you know what? An FOV slider was added, which is a nice touch. I'll give Gameloft props for that. I like an FOV slider in all games, and it was nice to see them add it to Modern Combat Versus. So, overall, this update made the game way more stupidly complicated. The rank up bonuses make the game almost unplayable. The maps still don't flow very well for most modes. Agents are still useless without upgrading them, and you can barely see your enemies. Also, the netcode for some reason is still very hit or miss. I'm constantly dying around corners and stuff like this, even if I have a fairly low ping, and then sometimes my ping spikes up to like over 500. It's just a mess right now. Honestly, I wish this game would die. Really, I just want this game to die. I want to forget about this game. It has such good potential early on in its life cycle, but they've just completely ruined it. Gameloft, just forget about this and put your people on new projects. We don't need to see this game try and crawl out from the grave or whatever. Just kill the game, please. I really don't like the game in its current state. And yeah, so anyway guys, let me know your thoughts on update 10 of Modern Combat Versus in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next video.